Welcome back, everyone. Got a bit of an update for the channel. It's kind of a big one. Something's been missing for quite some time, and those of you who've been around for a while probably know exactly what it is. Buggy's back, baby. You saw a couple months ago, I was driving this thing around and absolutely cooked the alternator. The two-piece alternator pulley just fully let go, and probably my fault. I'm sure it loosened itself up and I wasn't paying enough attention, and that allowed the inner pulley to just kind of keep moving and start wobbling and start eating and milling into the alternator until everything just let go, smoke everywhere, no charging, complete disaster, right? To replace the alternator on one of these, you have to take a lot of stuff apart. It's not bad. I mean, it's a Volkswagen, it's pretty basic, but you're kind of removing things. And when you start removing things, you start thinking, well, what else can I do while you're in there, right? So we did a lot of things. I wanted to give you all a bit of a update here on what has been done to the buggy. We've got a Silver Lake trip coming up in about 3 weeks. And between now and then, we've got some testing to do, including a quick drive around the neighborhood later in this video. So let me show you what we've done on this thing, kind of give you an update on what all happened, what we replaced, and kind of what's going on with the buggy since the last time you saw it. All right, so alternator, new. Pulley, new. Belt, new. And that's it. Just kidding. So we were in there and decided, well, I had bought this nice kind of shaved down fan shroud at the Michigan Buggy Builders Association show and swap meet last year, and I've just been kind of hanging on to it ever since. Since we were tearing it all off to get the new alternator in, I figured, well, let's replace that now. But that then led to, since we're going with the more shaved down version, it doesn't have the spot for the stock oil cooler. So we put an adapter on, but then you don't have oil cooling. So this weekend's project was the big boy oil cooler up here, which is pretty sweet. Honestly, just having the cooler on there, it's crazy how much heat transfer and how much you can feel coming off those fins on the underside of it. When you turn the fan on, it sucks the heat out immediately. It's really awesome. We haven't really driven it that hard yet to find out once it's up to real, ripping operating temperature. It's gonna be so awesome to see how this thing does. But anyway, let's get back to, the topic at hand here. New oil cooler, new switch down in there. That's just all, let's just not even look at that. That's all really bad down there. Oil cooler's on. So in addition to the oil cooler, we pulled out the factory fuel pump, did a block off. It's one that you can drill the center out and plumb in another vent. I think we might be okay, so I'm gonna leave it alone for now. Since last year at Silver Lake, we had to do the whole electric fuel pumpage and regulatorage. Figured it was time to get rid of that mechanical pump. We also, as you all can recall, had a giant oil leak coming out here at the crank pulley, just slinging oil and everything. Guys, this thing's run a lot since we redid it, and there's no oil. So pulled out the old seal, put a new one in. You can see it nice and kind of RTV'd in down there, and put a nice CB Performance pulley on this thing. Look at that. No screen printing, that's all etched in. Super nice, easy to see all your timing marks and everything. So that's done. While I was, it's kind of funny, we were putting the intake back together, and a friend of mine was over and was kind of looking at me saying, he was holding the intake in his hand and said, you're probably gonna want to put new intake boots on here because these are looking kind of tired. As he's saying it, one end of it just completely broke and flopped off into the trash can. So we've discovered something interesting. When that rubber intake boot ripped off, you saw kind of the nice clean half, and then you saw the dirty side where it's been sucking in air and who knows what for who knows how long. Remember that whole I can't tune the carburetor thing? Pretty sure that massive vacuum leak had something to do with it. All that unmetered air getting past was definitely not helping me, especially down low, under load. I think once the RPMs climbed, it was able to kind of compensate, and that's why it ran okay, other than when it was kind of in the basement RPMs under a load. It was just getting too much air in. So new intake boots, that's all taken care of. We also put, how can I forget? You won't be able to see them, but I'll show you anyway. There are new, well, new to me, there's new heads under here. These are all redone. Speaking of heads, I'll tell you why that was important. So I had an extra set of heads I was going to put on here because the old ones were completely torched. One of that old rattle I had was one of the intake valve seats, one of those pressed in valve seats, had a crack in it and it was just bouncing around when the valve would move in and out. That amongst the numerous other issues, valve spring seat was broken on the old one. I figured we had to put new heads on it. So I got a set of 1600 heads because it's a 1600, of course. And I go to put them on and they don't fit. I think they were, what was it? 94.5 millimeter inside diameter to slide over the jugs like they should be for 1600. And the outside diameter of the jugs on this are 98. So it turns out it's not a 1600, it's a 1776. Who knew? So had to source a set of heads that were the proper diameter and they'd been redone. The decks have also been shaved, so it's higher compression. So gonna have a bit more compression on this thing. And then while we were in there, we did, the old tins were just disgusting. I couldn't imagine putting them on. So put a nice set of black tins on, shaved them down a bit because we've got, from this year's Buggy Builders show, another set of valve covers that were already, had some vents welded in with some 8AN fittings on them. So now we are venting our heads, we're venting our valve covers into our catch can. And we've gotten rid of the fill and vent tower. It may make a reappearance, we'll see, I'm not sure yet, but I don't know if we're gonna need that thing where we're going after all this. Again, this thing's breathing really well through here. You can feel the air coming out of it because those are definitely pushing a ton of air out of those holes. And I've got no oil coming out. I also sandblasted and painted all of our exhaust so everything looks nice and fresh and clean. I think that's it. Is that it? I don't know. I put the air filter on. Oh, I got rid of that old kind of gooseneck thing because the whole point of that was to, you know, keep the filter away from the oil sling. So if the oil sling's gone, I don't really need it. I didn't want to have to drill into my nice new fan shroud here and put that mounting bracket on it. A lot's been done. Just did oil change. I have a few things left to do on this thing, but we're close. I've got like a small oil leak out of the driver's side head, valve cover. I think I might need thicker gaskets or just some silicone or something in there to seal that thing up. But all that said, I think we should take a drive. We'll go grab a GoPro, throw on this guy, and go take a rip around the neighborhood and see how she does. All right, folks, it's been a while since we've seen each other here. I don't know when it was. I think it was back in April that I did the bad thing with the alternator. So it's kind of nice to be back in the captain's chair right here. This is I miss it. I'll tell you what. It's end of July now. It's taken this long, just from having a day job and sourcing parts and having kids and all the things that happen. It's kind of hard to prioritize little projects like this, but we're finally there. I'm looking forward to it. It's been way too long. I've missed out on a lot of really nice driving days in this thing. So we're going to go take her on a test drive. I've had it around the block a little bit and it's feeling pretty good. So let's go back and do the famed startup procedure. Well, my son must have hit that switch. There's a surprise for you for later. That's the oil cooler. And let's go. Something you may have noticed, maybe not, I don't know, it started pretty quick, but something it was famous for doing before was having a gallop when you started it. There was definitely a lot of compression loss, I think, in cylinder number 1, and it's all back. At least a lot of it's back. It's way tighter, a lot more compression than they had before. Those heads really made a difference. All right, well, let's go get started and see if we can see how this guy feels. Second gear, get some juice. Oh yeah! That is something to behold right there, folks. So much better. Oh my goodness. Yep, downshift, remember how to do that. And first gear pull. Woo! Yeah! I think a couple things. Actually having compression for one. Oh my goodness. And not sucking in a bunch of unmetered air. Really gonna make a difference for the old gal. Temp's good, oil pressure's through the roof as always. It's charging. We have a speedometer. We have a tach. A little hill climbage, feels good on the hill. Love it. Sounds so much happier, don't you think? All right, let's give it the beans. Oh my Lord, it's faster! Woo! Oh my goodness! 55 at the end of that. Wow! That'll put a smile on your face. This thing must have been running on 35 to 40 horsepower the entire time I've owned it. I think I'm finally back over 50. Maybe 60, who knows? I don't know what a 1776 is good for. I think a 1600, was it 58, 52 horse? So I imagine we're a smidge higher than that now. All right, my favorite blind left turn. We'll see how this goes. At least it doesn't bog down at low RPMs anymore. Oh, it sounds nice now. It is a very happy clam. Oh, yep, there comes somebody. I knew it. And here we go. This thing is gonna rip up the sand. I'm telling you what. This is gonna be fantastic in the sand. We're definitely gonna be at the end of our suspension now. That's a fact. Gauges look good. Nothing crazy. Clouds are rolling in though. I was gonna do this video later this week. I just got home from working on this thing today and had to unload it off the trailer, but it looks like it's gonna rain and storm basically the entire week. So I want to get this video shot so I can get out in front of you folks a little sooner, so we're not having to wait quite so long. First gear downshift, ooh, tight. It's all right, we got her. We got her, buddy. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Let's see how fourth gear does it, 35. All right, we're at 35 and it's not coughing and bogging down in fourth gear. I'm pulling in fourth from 35 through 40s. It never would have done that before. That's a fact. Man, these tires sure make some noise, don't they? All right, coughing a little bit. That's the other thing. The carb is probably way off now because of all that work I did to it. I need to go back and reset timing. I need to go back and retune the carb. There's no way the settings, because I was forcing it to work not knowing it was a monumental vacuum leak. So I bet now that we're all tightened back up and, you know, working the way it's supposed to, it's gonna work a lot better. Random bike in the road, that's interesting. All right, I think it's probably time to start heading back home. We've had a good little run. Let's get home and check everything out. Make sure nothing's falling off or leaking out or exploding or whatever else happens back there. We're up to almost 160 temp. That oil cooler must be doing work right now. I don't even have it on. I just, here, let's flip her on while we're driving. See what our temp drops to, if anything. If nothing else, I bet it really helps hold it under that 160, 180 range. Yep. And we're clear. One last 1-2 shift for the boys. Oh, not good. A little fast on that one. Whee! Woohoo! Everybody loves a buggy. I always say it. See what's our temp like? It really doesn't move, but I'm not that surprised. I think that fan's gonna more maintain than decrease temp all that much. So yeah, we got a little bit of oil coming out around that valve cover. I've gone in there and tightened it up again. Like I said, it's as tight as it's gonna go. It's a new gasket, it's a rubber gasket. I think we're gonna be, yeah, I think we're gonna be either getting a thicker gasket or some silicone or RTV or something's gonna be going in there. I mean, everything else looks good. No leaks over here. Nothing crazy. wonder if there's anything in our catch can. I hope not. I kind of doubt it. Ooh, there's actually some water has made it into our catch can at some point. We probably need to take that guy off and see what's going on in there. That might be wise. Oh boy. Oh boy. Find out next time. Come on. It feels light but heavy. Oh yeah, oh look at that. Look at that milk. So apparently I haven't had this off in a while. That's disgusting. That's just all the things. I probably should have cleaned that out a while ago. Well, we're gonna go dispose of that the proper way. I'll put that back together. So anyway, I'm gonna take my milkshake and go get rid of it. Everything else here is looking pretty good, I gotta say. We're gonna tighten up this oil leak over here, get that problem solved. Completely different car from the last time. I mean, I'm not surprised. A lot of work got done. I tore a lot of this thing apart. Oh, you probably also noticed the engine's not purple anymore. We went back down to the factory. I think these are magnesium blocks. Yeah, the factory look here. So I think it's way cleaner looking. The gray fan shroud, the nice clean heads, the black tins, the clean block. It's so much better. Appreciate you stopping by and checking out the video. We're gonna be going to Silver Lake, like I said, in about 3 weeks. I got to do a bit more tightening up with this thing and solving this problem. But yeah, thanks for stopping by and check out the video. Leave a like if you like the video and a comment. Let me know what you think about our changes to the old buggy, and we will see you here in a few weeks at Silver Lake. As always, appreciate you stopping by to check out the video, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks.